So we've got a quick shop talk today. It's 8 things that smart people never reveal about themselves at work, and some of them are pretty obvious. But they talked about people that have emotional intelligence, and I kind of laughed a little bit about this. But they said people that have emotional intelligence are usually the top performers at work, but they're also smart in how much they reveal about themselves at work. And they had done a bunch of surveys. Some of these I think are obvious. Many of them I've made the mistake of doing. But what was the first one, John?
Talking about your political beliefs, and I was taught this very, very, very early on by my grandfather. Actually, you don't talk about church, you don't talk about money. So, and we're going to see those play out here. I think it's self-explanatory. It just tends to open up a lot of interesting fissures between people because we have slightly different perceptions of all this, and I think it's very obvious.
Right.
Don't bring your you could. Yeah, don't bring your political beliefs to work or don't
Don't bring
talk
your
about
political
them.
beliefs to work. And I remember a member of senior management one time at Subaru saying, "Oh, the marketing department's full of a bunch of liberals," and that pretty much squashed everything down. Um, the
Yeah, there
second
you go,
one,
right?
yeah, exactly right, which it probably was. The second thing was that you think somebody is competent. So telling somebody that,
So
or letting on,
incompetent.
letting
Yeah,
incompetent. What did I say? Competent.
competent. Yeah. You want to let people know when they're competent. You don't want to say anything when they're incompetent.
Yeah, which I was. I think all people gossip, though. In other words, if you were working with somebody and they just couldn't get their work done or they're doing it wrong, wouldn't you say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it"? I'm guilty of that one. So I saw
Yeah,
that one.
that one I agree with you. I think that's the office back chatter, but not
Right,
the top line. Like that might happen off the grid, but it doesn't happen in front of people.
right.
This other one is what I said my granddad taught me years ago, and that's don't talk about how much money you make because if you and I have seen this in environments where people learn the salaries of other people around them.
Right.
Oh boy, that never goes well. That never goes well, right?
Yeah, I remember learning the salaries of a bunch of people that reported to me that made, in some cases, double of myself, and I went to HR about it, and it was not a happy scene. The number four, don't let people know that you hate your job. In other words, if you're the leader of a group or you're part of a group or a team, letting people know that you're not excited or enthusiastic about your job just puts a bad light on you. So they said, don't let people know that you hate your job. And again,
Job.
I don't know anyone who hasn't ever said, "Oh my God, I hate this," but maybe that's just me.
I, you know, something. You and I, in our roles as agency, we often hear from our clients
Yeah,
privately
yeah,
about what's going on, and they might say, "I don't like this or that," but they would never reveal that to the company. But they could tell an external person that. This next one is also, in my opinion, just something you should know inherently, and you don't talk about what you do in the bedroom. Unless you have someone who's really deadly curious about your bedroom life, your sex life. I would say it's just something to avoid, right?
right. And that's coupled with number six about what you think someone else does in the bedroom. I don't know why I never walked away with a big check from my last corporate gig. I had, you know who this person is. And not only did they ask an agency person in front of all of us how if they scheduled time for masturbation on the road, but also it let us all know that he couldn't wear shorts, and then went ahead to show us why he couldn't wear shorts because he felt he was so well endowed. And of course he wasn't. But but I think about that now and how inappropriate. It's Trump, right? It's very much that sort of behavior that you just shake your head at. So yeah, don't talk about others in the bedroom and don't speculate what you think other people are doing in the bedroom.
Yeah, and this next one is actually something I smiled when I read it because I think there you could walk away with from a conversation that involved what I'm about to say, and either laugh or and it's basically don't talk about how wild you used to be. Right? Like here's what I did in my crazy old sowing my oats days or whatever. And you never know when a story about how wild you used to be could cross a line and someone be like, wait a minute.
You were partying or binge drinking
Yeah.
or experimenting or whatever, right? And then the last one is, and don't let anybody know that you're job hunting. And I remember I had an employee that I really loved and had no idea that I knew he was frustrated a little bit, but had no idea he was out interviewing and ended up landing a pretty magnificent job, but did not tell me or alert me until he actually had accepted the job and then came in to hand in his resignation. But He was very smart about that, never let on that he was looking. So it says, don't let people know you're job hunting. They gave an example here of somebody saying that they were on a baseball team as a kid and said they were going to quit. And then the coach just benched him for the rest of the time. And he was,
Oh, it's a
rendered
sad
useless.
story because the kid decided not to quit 2 weeks later, but was basically, dinged as being a non-team player. So he
Right.
was benched for the season.
Too late.
The job hunt thing is fascinating. I had a friend who worked at a company who discovered that a close coworker, and he managed a team, and one of his best team people he only found out about the job search because the guy made the mistake of listing him as a reference, but not telling him. So you imagine you're sitting at your desk. I want a reference for XYZ. Well, wait a minute. They're sitting. That's right over there. You got to be careful of that.
Jeez. Yeah, so I thought those were pretty good. It was more, that's more of a primer, what we went through. I mean, a lot of it's obvious, like you said, about talking about money, talking about people's personal lives in their bedrooms or whatever. But politics was always the big one. Politics and religion, and that stands for everything. If you're with people you don't know, you always have to be careful about talking about politics and religion, right?